Hello my lovelies, Robbie here at Kickback Garage. In this video I will be attempting to fit the new BGM front speed MZ30 exhaust. So if that's something you fancy having a ganj of, I'll probably even fire it up as well, so wait until the end of the video and grab yourself a cup of coffee and I'll see you after the intro. So here we have the scooter centre designed by Andy Francis, MZ30 exhaust pipe, and this I got given to me by Scooter Centre BGM a couple of months ago actually, but I have been waiting for an end can, and because I fancy doing something different to my RT, I'm going to tell you what I've already done to it in a second. I decided to bite the bullet and buy the bits that I'm missing from Cambridge Lambretta. And the main bit I was missing was the end pipe. This was actually quite expensive. With VAT and stuff, it turned out to be quite expensive, this end can. It's about half the size as the Casa Performance exhaust pipes, so I hope it's not too loud, but I'm really loving this new finish. Thanks for the heads up from Audun, my mate in Oslo. Let me throw that bubble wrap away so I'm not popping that. And it's got this slightly unusual actually, unlacquered, unvarnished carbon look, and it's light too. And it looks really pretty, so really happy I got hold of that from Cambridge Lambretta, because Scooter Centre haven't got any end pipes in stock for it, so that's what I was really waiting for, and they're going to give me one for free. But now, if you're watching this, Scooter Centre, I bought one. Another thing that I've done is, well, just go through what you get with in the kit. Now, before I start here, a lot of people, when Scooter Centre announced this collaboration with Andy Francis, a lot of people on the internet were saying that it is basically a front speed super tourer, and I'm not sure. Nobody said anything, but it's definitely made by JL. But Scooter Centre, they have been asking for some specific criteria for this exhaust. First off, Andy Francis has designed an extra separate stub here, which is really nice. That does take off a lot of tension from the downpipe. And another thing they asked, another reason why they asked for this was the slip joint is actually quite big. So if you've got some odd configuration, most people stroke their engines these days, then it should give you a little bit of wiggle room to be able to fit it a little bit easier than if you have a one-piece downpipe. Another thing that I've noticed, and don't take my word for it, go out and have a look at the photographs and compare them yourself, but it looks to me on the pictures and in real life here that they've tried to tuck the exhaust up a tiny little bit more than say the standard Super Tourer, to give it a little bit more ground clearance. And another thing that Scooter Centre wished for was an exhaust that fits without having to take the splash plate on. I have a splash plate, so I'll be testing that. It comes with an array of brackets. It's your standard JL bracket. You have these spacers and long screws for, so it'll sort of fit that to case, and you fit this on the end. But I'm not a massive fan of using bolts straight into the side case. So what I have done is the same as I did with the SIP No Speed. I bought this little puppy, solid bracket, same sort of type that Casa Performance use. from TD Customs in Germany. I bought this obviously from Scooter Center, and I had to get it to fit my Casa side case. I had to modify it slightly because there's a bit more meat around this whole area here. So I had to get the old angle grinder out so I could fit it. I've also fit extra long studs, so that's nice. I just need to bolt this down with nylock nuts. And it comes with, obviously, its own bracket for the front. It comes with screws, these bobbins, take up vibrations. I think there's 3 of those in here. Yes, there is, just 3. So obviously 2 for the front, 1 for the rear. An array of springs and some fastening kit and stuff like that. So yeah, I really fancy seeing how this fits. Now, before I fit this, I'm actually not, even though that they've tweaked it, I'm actually not expecting it to fit that well. Before you start big mouthing BGM, my engine is a proper oddball. It is RT240 on a Casa case. So the complications here are the Casa case is 1mm taller, the mouth on the crankcase, and I have a 62 times 110 rod, so it's 6mm longer than a standard lambretta, which is, what's that? It's 5mm or 4mm longer than a normal 60-stroke RT build. Now, the exhaust, let's have a look at that again here. The exhaust is built, they say that it works best on reed valve motors, so that'd be typical TS1, maybe RT like mine, hopefully, with reed valve, and Monza, those sort of setups. So I'm really looking forward to get this on, because what I did in the winter, I did mention this, but I think a lot of people have forgot, so I'll just remind you. I actually, when I first fit my RT cylinder down there, I tailed the cylinder to lower the port slightly and to match up with the timings. That was MB's advice on this taller crankcase. But what I did when I got the Nicosia lined barrel back from Lancourts is fit a 0.5mm taller base gasket, lifting the port slightly. Now what I found was, with my BGM Sport, unfortunately, which is in the naughty corner there, what I found with that is, because I've hired the ports, I lost a little bit mid-range, which was a bit disappointed. I was sort of expecting it, and I was obviously going to fit this exhaust earlier, but because I've been waiting for parts, it just hasn't happened. But it's happening now, so don't worry. And another thing that happens is, I feel that the engine wants to rev out more, but that exhaust is stopping it. So hopefully, when I fit this exhaust, I'll obviously do a full review, full test once I've fitted and tried it. Hopefully this will give me a little bit more sort of mid to top range, and will rev out slightly more, maybe even give me a couple of horses at the end of the rev range, which will make it a little bit more fun to ride. I mean, the thing is, that Series 1 there that stood there in the corner, the sledgehammer, that is so addictive to ride, and this just felt so boring. Even if I haven't messed around with port timings, this feels like a moped, and it is actually quite a fast scooter. It's just that I want to turn it into a little bit more fun, basically. So let's see how this fits, even though I have got the Casa side case and the longer case and the longer stroke. See if I can get this thing on. Oh, one other thing I have to mention, obviously, is they sent me standard BGM stub, the 4-bolt type, and Andy has also modified the manifold so that it fits lovely jubbly. So what that means for me today is that I don't actually have to take off my exhaust stub. I've got no sign of leaking or anything around there, so I can just simply bolt this exhaust into place. But first I have to fit the brackets at the front. 6 weeks! I've been waiting 6 weeks for this bracket. Now the thing is, I'm going to a rally tomorrow, and I got the bracket today. Hans is coming because TV 175 Hans, Series 2. He's coming down because I think his clutch is loosened, so I'll have to help him as well. So I really have to get my skates on if I'm going to be using this. I really want to use my Series 2 to the rally. One, because I don't trust the tank in the sledgehammer, and 2, because I really want to give this exhaust a good try over the mountain. We're going over 2 mountain passes anyway. First nightmare, the springs are really tight from the exhaust manifold to the exhaust itself, and it sits a little bit lower than if you use the TS1 type stub. It does fit straight onto the BGM stub, but that is longer. So I think it's going to stick down a little bit more on that stub. And like I said, I've already snapped one. But luckily, Scooter Centre they sent me some extra springs, so that's good. And I'm definitely going to stick one of those in my glove box, just in case, if not 2, just in case. The problem really hasn't been Scooter Centre. It was FedEx. It was stuck at FedEx, and the problem is, because we're such a small country, they have got no service contact, so you have to contact them via the web, and they used 3 or 4 days between every time I sent an email. So I asked them why it was stuck in the customs. They needed the invoice. Obviously there was no invoice because I've already paid VAT on this, thank you very much. So I got the invoice from Scooter Centre, sent them that, another 3 or 4 days, and I got the answer back, okay, that's good. And then it was just still not moving after another week and a half. So I sent them an email on Friday. Today is Thursday. And yeah, it came. So it came. I saw that it come. It wasn't really supposed to come until tomorrow. So there is a glimmer of hope that I'm going to be able to fit this. Now, what I want to show you is they come with 2 screws for this bracket. This is a bracket that fits on the exhaust, and one of the bolts, can you see that? It's like a half knot. It's not even a half knot. I reckon that's. But anyway, what I found out is you have to slide that in on the shark's fin on the motor on the back side. So I'm going to have to loosen that, which will be okay, and fit that because because of the plastic bushings, nylon bushings, then it's quite close to the head cowl. Very nicely, they've already sort of sussed that out, and they send these thinner ones. So let's get cracking. So yeah, other than the fact that the springs were pretty hard to get in the first sort of joint, the manifold, because this has got 2, you remember, because it should ease fitment. Now, I have got a bit of a glimmer of hope, actually, because it's quite clever. The holes on the bracket, on this little bracket I've got here, they're offset, so it gives you a nice angle there. And the holes on the bracket on the exhaust itself, the little flippy, a shark fin, if you like, that they are elongated and at an angle, so that when you offer it up, then it should line up nicely with the shark's fin, even though, because the problem with the other exhaust expansions I've been trying to fit on a Casa case with a Casa side case is that it's a little bit wider than what's standard, and it does give you a bit of trouble. So I have got a little glimmer of hope that I'll be able to fit this. Only thing is, so if you're going to fit one of these, do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to have to remove this shark fin to give me some. Just push that out the way, Rob. There you go. And yes, I have got a splash plate on, and it fits fine I've got plenty of clearance in front here. I'll show you once I've fit it, if I can fit it. The annoying thing is, because it's so late on a Thursday night, I do not think I'll be able, I apologise massively, but I won't be able to get this video out until after the rally this weekend. And because I'm pretty busy bee, I've been pretty busy because my daughter has bought herself a little farm right on the coast by the sea. Beautiful little place. But it's from 1886 and it needed quite a lot of renovation. Now, I'm not a handyman. I don't do the old carpentry stuff. What I think I'm going to do is so take this off. Don't forget to fit do I need the fat washers on this? Which way is this? Because what happens is this goes on the back side of that actually. So I think, yeah, and you need the fat washers so that your nylon bushes don't slip out. So what I'm going to do is put that in there like so, and then no I'm not, I'm lying. I'm going to put the one closest to the one that's closest to the engine case. I'm going to fit that one with the skinny head, and wouldn't it be nice if it could fit this without having to modify anything? That'd be chuffed to bits actually. There we go. So that is like that, and then I can off it. Should I really put a nut on there? I think I'm going to put a nut on there, so just basically so I don't lose that bolt or it moves around or something. Just this on the safe side, and I'm going to offer that up again. I'm actually, even the holes on that are really elongated, so I think I'm going to move those as far that way as possible, because my engine, as you know, is stroked. I can't actually remember what I said on the last video, because why can't I remember what I said, Rob? Yeah, I can't remember what I said on the last video because it was such a bloody long time ago. So this goes here like so, and it does seem that those holes are actually lining up quite nicely, easy. Oh my god! And I've got, I kid you not, I've got more room between the case, the side case, and the exhaust than I actually did on my sledgehammer exhaust, which is made for purpose. So that was a bit strange. So that is good. What did I do with those nuts? I've just taken them off. There they are. You shouldn't really reuse nylock nuts, says Rob, who, tell you what, I've actually bought some. I'm going to go grab some 8mm M8. I'm just going to message off Hans saying that he is a little bit late, which suits me fine, sir. Right. There we go. Obviously, washers I can reuse. It's like when I buy stuff off the internet on these scooter shops, I buy like 100 M8, M6. So I've always got nuts lying around, and like in the case of Hans, who was taking off his side case, then I can use nylocks on his as well. Right, so I think that is actually how it needs to be fit. I'm not gonna tighten that up quite yet, because what I want to do is just check that shark's fin so the bolts line up okay before I snug it down, you know what I mean, just loosely. I have fit the springs from the exhaust manifold to, is that loose? Yep, like that. Let's have a look. So if I bring that around, my god, there, I'm not joking, I've got about 4 millimeters, quite a bit of wiggle room there. 4 millimeters from the side case, which is great. So I'll just snug that down there, I know I will snug that down. Yeah, so I've got the springs from the exhaust manifold to the first bit of the stub on the exhaust, and that's it. I've not fit the other springs yet because I want to line all this up before I. It's the best way to do it so that you don't get too much tension on the exhaust, and you've got a bigger chance of not snapping it. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Wow, I kid you not. Look at that. That's a big gap for a Casa Performance side case. Now, Andy Francis, who designed this, he did get instructions from Scooter Centre that they wanted it to fit a few different configurations because it's the in thing at the moment to stroke your engine. Obviously, when you stroke it, it means that you push the exhaust around. You know, you remember I struggled with the no speed because that ended up being pushed around, and I had to actually on my Series 1, I actually had to cut my side panel, which is a bit annoying, but you know, you can't really make these things for all these configurations. I wonder how this fits on a non-stroked engine, but because of the amount of leeway I've got here, wiggle room if you will, I probably reckon you'll be all right on your TS1 or your Monza. I'm not sure which direction to fit these bolts. My thinking is this: if they loosen, they're going to fall out anyway, aren't they? But if they loosen, then they might just stay put. That's wishful thinking. I don't think it really matters which way you put them, Rob. And you're babbling away. I know I'm babbling. Can I get my finger? No. Well, I'll tell you what I have to do. I'm going to have to, because it's a bit tight. I think I'm going to have to fit in the opposite way of what I wanted to, because I can't get my ratchet in there. I can get a spanner in there, I think, just to hold them while I tighten those up afterwards. So I'm just fitting it all loosely at the moment. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Seems all right, doesn't it? I've got a tendency to put my head in the view. I've also got this little light. It's been stood here for 6 weeks. Do you think it's still charged? Hey! Is that in your face? Probably. Can I? Yeah, I've got more room, wiggle room. I've got more finger room, I could say, to fit that in there. There you go. I have to say I'm quite surprised actually. I was expecting this to be quite a lot of trouble, to be honest, and it seems that Andy Francis has actually done his homework when it comes. It's so far out at the moment, so if I could have like a double Casa Performance side case, so if I sort of bring that in, then it's not touching the back, it's not touching the manifold. Is this touching the manifold? No, it isn't. What a well thought out design. I think what I'm going to do is snug it up there. The reason why it keeps springing back is because of the two springs on the manifold. And as I said, they're quite tight. But if I sort of snug that down there and fit the springs, we should be good to go. And then it's a end cam fitment. I'll just turn off the camera. You know I've not got much time. I'll just tighten this up as it is, and I'll see you when I fit the end cam. I didn't have to mess around at all. It fit my TLD exhaust bracket fine. It's just loosely fit at the moment because I wanted to make sure that this was okay. The slip joint is extra long on the exhaust stub here, on the little exhaust manifoldy bit, And because this is loosely fit, what I think I'm going to do is, I wonder if I just move that in a little bit, like so, and I've still got 3 or 4 millimeters clearance between the exhaust and that, and yeah, I think I'll tighten it down and fit the springs. Or should I fit the springs and tighten it down? Thing is, I want it to stay in place here like this without any tension. Maybe the springs will add tension. I don't know, lad. And because it's so late, I don't really care, to be honest. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my knee there. And that is basically so that I can, all this is all still loose. So it's a little bit tight, this one, this front one. Can you see it? Obviously can't see it because I'm not pointing at it. Can I move my camera so you can see it? I have to look through my camera to see. So just going to press that in a little bit with my knee. It's still not under any tension. And I'm going to tighten up this one. It does pull it down slightly. I'm not really worried about that because, there we go. Why am I not worried about that, Rob? Because it's still not under any tension, that's why. Can I get that in there? Yes, I can. Yeah, so that's a good idea. Fit the bolts before you fit that shark's tooth thing. The nice thing about this, I reckon as well, the design on this, I liked it nicely. I'm pretty sure the Super Tourers use the same thing. It's like you don't have to actually take off this shark's bracket when you have to remove your exhaust. And to be honest, because of the way it's placed and the fact that I've got gobloads of room here, it's going to be really easy to take apart when I want to take off my side case for maintenance reasons. Just a case of undoing those 2 bolts there and the bolt on the exhaust bracket. And I can hear that my man Hans has arrived. So I have to move some shit out of my garage so we can do that. And then I'll tighten this down and maybe she'll fire it up and have a listen. We'll do that. That's definitely. So we've been messing around with Hans, and he is so happy to be on camera. I can see that straight away. He loves it. Yeah. But I think the clutch was actually a little bit loose, so we tightened that up a little bit. And is that a problem with leaking on one of the studs? Did that go on okay now? What? Did it go on okay?
Yeah.
The side kit? Okay.
Yeah, much better than last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we hit with the hammer and broke it. But apart from that, so hopefully that should be okay. It just needs to fit that bracket. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the sound of the new BGM exhaust. And I'll definitely bring you outside for that. As you can see, it's dark. And when it's dark at this time of year, it's, in Norway, it is late. I think I'll turn you around. Because nice thing is, it's not like super dark, but we can have a little look at that Casa Performance headlight as well at the same time. I'll put it like that so I don't gasp away Hans. Right, I'm in two minds whether to to cut the footboard or not, but I want to have a little bit of a sound on it, and we'll have a listen how it sounds. The end can, I have to point out, the end can is quite short compared to definitely like half the size of the Casa Performance, and the Casa Performance sledgehammer, that's quite loud actually. So let's have a listen, see if we can get it to start. It's been stood still, poor thing, like I said, for 6 or 7 weeks now. So hopefully... Oh, okay. I haven't done anything to the jetting. She's smoking. My talk is on. I thought it was going grumpy. Let that clear up a little bit. On this scooter, I normally have to turn off the choke straight away. The Tourid has always had quite a deep sound, even with the Clubman pipe. But this sounds really nice, I think. All right, I can see the difference between main and dip. Anyway, it's getting late now. My neighbour's going to be a bit upset, but I really have to give this. I'm going to give it a blast around the neighbourhood. They're going to love me for that. But luckily, as you heard, it's not too bad. The nice thing about this one is it hasn't got that tinny sound that some exhausts have, and most notably the CST exhausts. And sounds deep. It doesn't really feel that sound that bad. So I'll give it a blast around the neighbourhood, like I said, and hopefully, if that little test run goes okay, then I should be taking Tourid to the rally tomorrow. So I will love you and leave you. And it's been a long-winded video, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, I love you and leave you. Don't forget, if you like this kind of stuff, do the old subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Ta-ra!